Hey, so in this video, I'll be doing a review for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, Episode 20, and if you haven't seen Age of Ultron yet, leave right now, because this is a kind of a spoiler if you haven't seen it yet, or you don't want to know anything about the movie. But yeah, we find out in this episode what Data Protocol is, and it's the helicarrier that was in Age of Ultron that saved a lot of people. So that's pretty much what it is. And honestly, I liked that it's not as big as what's called the Captain America 2, because this movie didn't have much to do with what's happening in the show. So I like that it was so small, but it was still satisfying, because knowing that the people that are on this one of the people on this show had a hand in actually helping a lot of people actually in the movie, saving a lot of people. So I like that part. And like last week, technically, what Coulson did started what happened in Age of Ultron anyway. But yeah, it was that small. But in the flashback, we find out that Coulson was actually telling the truth about how he was looking for Gonzalez this whole time, and even a year ago he was. And we also find out that the Koenigs have a lot of lanyards for some reason. I don't know why. There's all different colors and all different different shapes. And this one that Coulson's using for Data Protocol is like this triangle one. So yeah, and so in Afterlife, I'm gonna be jumping around throughout the episode. The Afterlife and Inhumans. We find out that Lincoln is totally afraid of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that kind of stuff, because they wanted to stay secret, and now S.H.I.E.L.D. is gonna go looking for them, and that's what they technically did in this episode. But yeah. And he's on the index now because he was asleep and had his blood taken out, or not taken away, just had taken samples of his blood, and had a lot of questions being asked. But yeah, so we find out that Raina is becoming more comfortable about what her appearance, and that she's helping a lot of her Inhuman family, and telling the truth about what's to come. And she has this vision about this weird stone, but then it's not a stone, and then we find out that it's a weapon that can destroy the Inhumans. And so Jiaying lets Gordon and Raina find out where this weapon is, and it's on the cargo hold that's actually on Gonzalez's ship. So we find out it's 100 years old, so it seems nice that she's actually telling the truth for once, and she's actually helping people instead of actually being manipulative all the time, which we do find out that she actually is manipulative. Actually, I don't know why I can't say it right today, but yeah, she does help people, and a lot of people in real world was saying that they are finding her annoying when she was helping people, but she was also doing stuff to get control of the afterlife. But she was telling the truth. She was saying that S.H.I.E.L.D. now that they know about the weapon and all that kind of stuff, that S.H.I.E.L.D.'s coming and going to rain down, and a war is coming, and Jiaying cannot meet with S.H.I.E.L.D. But that ends up actually happening, because Gordon ends up telling Jiaying about this, that S.H.I.E.L.D's coming, and doesn't let Raina meet with S.H.I.E.L.D., which I'm pretty sure would have been a better option about what actually happen because what's called so Shield comes in, and instead of Coulson coming in, which it was going to happen, Gonzalez comes in and talks to Jiaying and saying that we both have scars as Hydra. We're not Hydra, and he's actually being nice. He gives her the necklace that she lost a long time ago when Whitehall took her, and didn't get to give it to Sky, which she wanted. So yeah, he ends up being nice, and he says that we don't want to mess with what's happening here. We just want to put you on the index, and like if anything, like any of them step out of line and try to hurt like an actual human, we will come in and stop them. Which I understand that opinion that if something bad happens to people, they will just come in and just kill the power people. It's not they're not against just straight up killing people if they're not going to hurt them. But yeah, Jiaying doesn't really care for them, and right when they heard indexing, because in her mind she finds out what indexing really is from Cal, but that's not all. Like, not all indexing is like what he saw, but only somewhat. So yeah, I can understand why Jiaying is hesitant on helping S.H.I.E.L.D. right now. So she takes what's called a crystal. We find out that actually they only had the 5 diviners, so they decided to melt the diviner and the crystal to grow new ones, and but they couldn't get the diviner metal out of the diviner, so it only these crystals will not hurt in humans, but they will kill they will kill the humans. So she ends up pretty much murdering Gonzalez with the Kree crystals, and I was hoping kinda that he turned out to be inhuman, because he's not a big fan of powered people. So just him having powers would be fun to see. But yeah, so Raina was right. She started the war, and she let Hyde go with S.H.I.E.L.D., and we find out that he has alien or the serum in his blood, and so the war is coming there. So we find out Agent 33's full name is Kara Palamas, but that's a short. And she's no longer brainwashed, because Fitz and Simmons had this weird brainwash away machine that got all her memories back, but she still loves war, so she's not under any kind of control there, which was kind of cool, kind of weird and cool. And she fakes being May, which I don't know how she got out of the cell, which was weird. She got out of the cell, faked being May, and to get Bobby into going ahead and pretending to be going to Afterlife, and and we find out that Bobby was the one that brought her to Whitehall to get her brainwashed and all that kind of stuff and tortured. But now Ward and Kara are going to torture Bobby in the next episode. So yeah, after this ordeal happened with finding out what data protocol is, Coulson has this offer, and saying that I want you to be my counsel, like Fury had his counsel, and they agree, and then the council doesn't want Coulson to be the one to course, like have the conversation with Jiaying because he has a personal connection with Sky, and this is a lot more personal because now Jiaying is her. Like we know, Jiaying is what's called her mother, so it's kind of like comfort, like not really good to have that. But I honestly think that would have been a good idea, even though I'm pretty sure Jiaying had this plan of killing whoever comes in and starting the war anyway. So Coulson would have probably died, even though he has Kree blood in her system. He's not really an Inhuman. He just has blood in his system. So I don't know if that would work. But yeah, so they end up going we find out the name of the people are Inhumans in the cinematic universe, even though we already knew that. But they actually officially name drop Inhumans because Sky and Coulson and May were talking, saying we don't even know what to call them, and Sky says they're Inhuman, and they said we are Inhumans, and people in real life are saying she shouldn't be calling herself because she's only known them for a couple of days, which that's not true. They've been knowing her. She's known them for weeks now, and she's no matter what. If she didn't even know them for a couple of days, she is an Inhuman because she has blood in her, like in her DNA. She's an Inhuman, so no matter what, she's an Inhuman. So yeah, and she's shots fired at May, which saying, did you know about the little girl that she's in Bahrain? She was an Inhuman, and so yeah, yeah. We find out Coulson was called the real Shield had found out where how to track Gordon like Hydra did, and we find out that technically it is on Earth, like the afterlife is on Earth, so. That is correct. Like in the comic books, as far as I understand, the first Attilan was actually in China, so that's makes more sense to where they are in China somewhere, but we don't know exactly where because they don't mention where they're going. They just say we found them and we're going. So yeah, that was a lot to take in, and it was a fun episode. I honestly. I was surprised that Jiaying went to that dark place, and I can't wait to see Mr. Hyde coming, because he took that serum that he'd been using in the past. So I can't wait to see what he looks like in the TV. So yeah, comment down below what you thought of this episode and what I should review next. See ya.